shall see. We shall see. What up? Welcome back.
We shall
Shall
see.
see. Bum, 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 bum. Lasers, lasers, lasers.
Welcome back, guys, to another great episode of We Shall See. Here I am, half of the pilot of the ship, the Young Avell. You could call me TJ, Young Avell, whatever floats your boat. And I'm here with my co-host slash best friend,
Corey McEnroe speaks because I like to talk and I got a lot to say. And when you scratch the surface of death, you have a lot to talk about. So we're here. We're talking about it, man.
Changed him. Well, let's firstly start off with how eventful this week was, man. We're smack dab right now while we're recording this episode. We're smack dab in the center of eclipse portal. I don't
Yeah.
know whether you believe that or not, but some has been happening these past 2 weeks, especially this last week. How was this past week for you?
Very
Firstly,
fast.
tell the viewers what an eclipse portal is.
It's usually starts with a solar eclipse, I believe, and then ends with a lunar, or can it vary?
Yeah, right. And so I think it's solar eclipse on the new moon, which is when the moon is black, right? On
Yeah.
the other
Yep.
side of the
And
of
then
the
you get the lunar on the full.
yeah. And
Yeah.
we're at the full right now. So we had a full energy right in between. For me, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
As you know, you've been helping me out through a lot of immaculate new revelations and new
Yeah.
directions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I just it's been really, really fast the past 2 weeks. And just for me personally, learning a lot every day about how to go towards the path that I'm going towards, learning physical tasks that have a lot to do with social media and my phone and nonsense like that. I shouldn't say nonsense, but category of that's the physical work, and then the non-physical work is just a mental approach, and that's just like trust and faith, and it's also a technique of how to rewire your brain and your thought pattern on how to just understand how to manifest and create in this now moment, because that's all we really have. So uh each day, man, I wake up every day and I know I'm gonna get someone to come to me and give me some sort of nugget that I feel is worth sharing to the internet universe. And that's like the coolest thing about life, is like it just is always coming at you if you're willing to receive it and you notice it. And
Let's
I
take it
think,
let's take it a step further, a step deeper, because what you just described is what we were talking about earlier today with the filters. Because I was asking you questions about how do you not, when it comes to manifesting, we hear so much that you got to be specific and you got to, write it down, get as clear as an image as possible. And you helped me walk through a specific question that I had, which was, what about that? And what about what was the other thing that we said? It was the detail. Oh, and it was about the delusional aspect of believing something that,
yeah, well, let me
like
start
for
there. Let me
yeah,
start
go ahead,
there
please.
because I got that from Tony Robbins today. I saw this clip of Tony Robbins talking about how, like, Harvard or Yale, one of those Ivy League schools, they did like a 30-year study, and they found that pessimistic people sometimes end up being smarter than optimistic people. And the reason that they're pessimistic is because they're more realistic. So when they start something, they judge themselves more accurately, which is usually a negative judgment. And then
Mm.
they and then
Like
they
I'm not good at this. Yeah, because you
yes,
just
and then
started.
they or like for our example, for the example of trying to put yourself out there and be like or I guess, for my example, for being a content creator, I mean, yours is more like with your entrepreneurial stuff, but like but it's the same thing. It's the same analogy, and that's why I jump up when I say it. You are on a path of trying to figure out what's going to stick, and
Mm,
I am on a path of trying to figure out what's going to stick. And when you're doing that, you're throwing so many darts to try to hit the board. You just have unlimited darts, so you're just tossing them and you're just trying to hit that bullseye. And
yeah.
there's a lot of tosses and a lot of days where you don't even get near the bullseye. But because you're still tossing, you're actually still working at it. You see what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
like that is what is really interesting about the whole optimism thing, is that like if you're a pessimist, you'll stop along the route so much sooner, and you'll never get to the promised land, because
Mm,
your realisticness will make you go, nah, this is not going to
yeah.
work. But that optimism is like, yo, I got this. And even though it's delusional, it's like I'm still growing and getting better. So it keeps tricking your brain into being like, we're good, we're growing, we're good, we're growing. And then that's what you end up doing, is you end up being good and growing, you know?
It's like that video that I recently sent you about the professor that had the different words on the
Yes,
backboard
yes.
and played the same sound, but got the class to understand that the words were similar in sound
Yep.
uh, on the board, but it was the same audio clip that he kept playing. And he was like, watch how your brain registers what it's hearing as the word that's on the board, even though the word is changing. And every time the word changed, he played the clip, and your brain hears what is the word on the board. So
Yes.
it's like you can trick your brain. He was like, you don't experience reality, you experience your reality.
Reality. Yes.
So it was like, how can I trick my brain into believing something, like believing that the things that are happening to me, even though they might not necessarily look like I'm moving towards my goal. How do I frame that in a way where I'm like, this is the way that
Correct.
I'm going towards my goal, right? And then that's how we got to the different filters.
Yes.
Like there's a bigger filter and then there's a smaller filter. So we
Correct.
talked about how the being very specific and detailed is the smaller filter, but you
Correct.
brought up a great point. You were like, there has to be a grander filter that
Yes.
is a little bit more broad and general that you can almost like believe a little bit easier.
So to piggyback on that, really what it comes down to is the language that you say to yourself.
Mm,
And
mm.
that's what you and I were talking about a lot. And like that's so much of what I'm learning and starting to understand more. And honestly, man, I tip my cap to TikTok. TikTok shows me a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of
Yeah, I
really,
think
really cool.
The Chinese
Yeah.
for the infiltration of the
Yeah.
American, they got to
They're
figure what
they're
you're
they're
doing.
yeah, dude, they're dropping a lot of knowledge though, man. They're dropping a lot of knowledge. And like, basically I wake up every day, first and foremost, three times before you go to sleep and three times right when you wake up. I am who I am, and that is enough. I am who I am, and that is enough. I am who I am, and that is enough. Because
Why
that'll
that?
why that exactly. That'll take away a lot of worry and doubt.
Mm,
It's
okay.
because we're just gonna break that down. I am who I am
I am who I am, and
is
that is
means
enough.
means I'm accepting me. I'm
Okay, I
accepting
am
who I
who I
am.
am, and that is enough. I
And
am
then
who
when I
I am.
finish it with that is enough, that means I feel like I'm whole. I'm complete.
Mm,
You see what I'm
okay.
saying? And then
Yeah.
what was I telling you the other day about completion?
Mm,
That's the state of gratitude.
yes.
That I
Yes.
am okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
full.
Yep,
I
yep.
got it all.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. The meal has been eaten, digested.
Mm,
I got it. I
mm,
feel full. I'm thankful. So
so good.
when you wake up in the morning, you say, I am who I am, and that is enough three times. And you go to bed at night and you say, I am who I am, that is enough three times. You're waking up right away and going to bed, already pre-programming that you're good. You got it. Because the biggest thing is, let's say you have this vision in your head of who the TJ you want to be. Okay. If you
No, of
don't
course I
think,
do.
if you don't think that you're that TJ now,
Hmm.
you don't ever become the TJ you want to be.
Mm.
You have to believe that you are that TJ now. I believe wholeheartedly that I am the person that I am right now. And I really have my whole life. And each time I've been on the right path for a career that really suits who I am, I've gotten very close to it, and then something along the way has made me doubt and be impatient and rush it, and then it hasn't worked, you know. And for me personally, with this whole public speaking thing, every day I look at this, I'm like, okay, I know I'm on the path. You know, I know
Mm.
I'm on the path to being this stadium full public speaker, making people feel good about, you know, how difficult life can be, you know. And that's, once you wake up every day knowing who you are, knowing your mission, knowing your purpose, and totally fully believing that October 27th, 2023, Corey, is the same as October 27th, 2038, Corey, with kids and multi-million dollars and multiple properties, multiple houses, financial issues not existent, you know. Corey McEnroe speaks, household name, huge revenue streams. It's the same person that's right here, because Bashar talks about this, man, and TikTok gives me Bashar shit all the time. And
Mm.
Bashar goes, "Your linear time is not real." And you used to talk about this shit all the time. Your linear time is not real. So what your brain thinks is the future is still right now. It's
Yeah.
still right now. And when you can bring that future self with the financial freedom, the family, the plot of land, the house, the farm, everything, when you can bring that into this and go, yes, I am that right now, and you can feel it, and you can convince yourself, you can give your brain reasons why you are that right now.
Mhm.
It comes, bro. It comes because, yes, we are in linear time, and yes, it does have to get here. But the sooner you realize that you are already it and it is already here, then it's flying at you.
I'm gonna give you an example, and I agree 100%. And it's almost like I have a point so that I'm gonna put here really quick, but it's almost like you have a whole bunch of tools that you just need to get good at organizing them correctly. Like I need to get good at gratitude in because of that state of completion, and also at the same time be cognizant of my big filters and my little filters, those things that I'm working towards. I gotta link those as a personality matrix all day every day. You know what I'm saying? And
What was that
yep,
point? What was that point? What was that point?
that point was some about manifestation, I think. So we're talking about manifestation, right? Manifestation power. I was watching this movie. You ever heard the movie Dune?
Yeah.
So I was watching the movie, and the guy, the main character, he is able to tap into this thing called the voice because of
Mhm.
his bloodline. They cross the bloodline, so he can control people by tapping into that voice. But he has to get good at tapping that power. So I was thinking about, yo, why oh, okay, here's my point. So, why am I not that version of myself now, right? Or at least I'm thinking of myself now. I'm thinking of myself that way. It's because I don't think that I'm really doing my best, I feel like, right?
Okay,
'Cause
so go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
so I feel like when let me give it my best effort, or what I believe is my best effort, which includes gratitude, the right frames, things like retention, doing what I know that I got to do so I can tap in to that power. Because for me, that power is directly correlated to manifestation. Like
Correct.
the stronger that I get with doing my stuff for a while. Oh, now I remember my point. So doing my stuff for a while, the more that I see those things reflecting back in my life, point in case. Since we talked about personal training, I have manifested 2 clients, and just by me just being like, okay, I want to access, let me reframe that based off what you're sharing. I have all the money that I need right now, and there are multiple continuous opportunities that are constantly coming to me. And one of those opportunities is the personal training. It
Correct.
just came out of nowhere. And there's
Correct.
some other things as well that's just been flowing in. And I've been noticing, I don't know if it's the Eclipse portal that it's like on the flip side, because this week was crazy, man. This
Yeah.
week was crazy. Like I had to go to the range twice.
Yeah.
Like I had to drop 250 instead of $100. But now, we're coming out of it and I got all these different ways of making bread. So it's like what we were talking about earlier. Those opportunities are coming in, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, man. It's interesting to look at gratitude that way as like a form of completion. Because it makes total sense that if you're in that state of completion,
You're
you're gonna
grateful.
attract things that are gonna make you feel like, "Oh, I got it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when you say like I don't think I'm good enough or I don't think I'm doing enough, you're going the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you have to think of yourself like I'm on a course to going to my dream. And anytime I get negative or pessimistic, it makes me now go lateral
Mm,
instead of forward.
mm. That is
So
great. Yeah.
rarely at our age now we go backwards. And
Mm.
when people in their late 20s and 30s go backwards, it's obvious. You're like, bro, you're fucking up,
Yeah, yeah, for
you
sure.
know? So
Yeah.
like we don't really go backwards, but we go lateral very frequently. We'll go a few steps forward and go lateral for weeks and months, and then go a few steps forward and go lateral
Mm.
for weeks and months. So
It's
that's
hard, but that's a great point.
like the biggest thing I've been really focusing on like this whole month because like it was, a month ago that I found out that, no lawsuit for this, no compensation. You want $100 million, you got to go make it your damn self. We're not going to give you $100 million because you got your fucking fingers ripped off. Stop, nothing's handed to you in life. So like I've been waking up every day like I am worth this. I know I'm worth this. And like, dude, I like have conversations with people who come to the gas station and I like tell them I'm getting into public speaking and I show them this. First and foremost, when I tell people that I got my fingers ripped off this year, they're like, what? Like, that happened to you this year and you're just like, what's good? And then I say like, I know like when I say like it was so random that the doctors weren't at fault, so I can't sue them. It was so rare, which makes me feel very special. I know it sounds cocky, but like if it was so rare, then I must be so rare. So like
It's like there's meaning in it now.
yes. So for me, it's like, yo, I feel like I should have made $100 million for the lawsuit for this. So I'm gonna make $100 million my own way, which is going to be talking about this. And when I talk to the customers at the gas station about that, they're like, yes, dude. Like, yeah, I can feel that off you. You bring that, and it's like the same thing anyone has to do with anything. So I love watching videos about Kobe, especially early Kobe, because early
Mm.
Kobe when he was about to come into the league was like, yo, I'm coming, and I'm nice. I'm coming to get you guys. And he came and you know what I
And he
mean?
got everybody.
Yes, yes, yes. The story that I just sent you the other day where they were like, Kobe would say stuff to us and we just wouldn't even understand it. He came into the locker room one time and said, none of you guys are guarding Will Barton. He's got 24 right now. He's going to have none for the second half. And sure enough, Kobe just locked him up. He had none for the second half. So like, it's that whole like when you know that you are that consistently every minute of every hour of every day of every week of every month, that consistency builds. And then in like 2 years, because for over 500 days you've woke up like I'm this, I'm a public speaker that gets paid 50K every time I speak. I'm that, I'm that, I'm
One
that,
day it's
I'm
gonna
that.
smack you.
Bang. You don't have a choice because that's what you wake up every day going, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that. And like, if you can generate a sensation that butterflies, that sense of chills, that Ray Lewis, like, let's
Mhm.
go. If you can get yourself hyped every day about the person that you are, you will look around you and it'll all change because everything that's happening around you is just what's actually happening inside you.
Definitely. It's right. It goes right back to you don't experience reality, you experience your reality. And I think what happens is our reality gets hijacked by certain external forces that are not, things like propaganda. And I was just watching something on Jordan Peterson. He interviewed this guy, Glenn Greenwald. It was brilliant. It
I
was
saw
so
that.
good.
I saw some of that.
Yeah, it was so good, and they were just talking about the current state of censorship and stuff like that, and how that's not a good path to go. And they hit a lot of things on the money about how propaganda is an invisible weapon. So if you control the flow of information that populace gets, you can get them to basically imprison their own self by making the propaganda such that even to question the propaganda, you are already putting yourself on the fringes of being attacked, canceled, stuff like that. Like if you have a certain ideology, you are going to be canceled. So the propaganda is so good because they were like, in ways, being socially ostracized is a much more effective strategy than rolling in the tanks and rolling in the guns and rolling in the oppressive force. Much more of the populace cares about their social status than the actual tanks rolling in my house and stuff like that. So if you create the propaganda such that if you question us, you are going to be looked at as a socially fringe type of group, and you're going to be ostracized and censored for that. Because they were saying stuff like, Jordan Peterson was like, yo, I had an interview with Robert F. Kennedy, who is a Democrat on the left side, who is a liberal, same as all the blue hair people that are screaming on college campuses. And even that interview got taken down by by YouTube. So they're like, yo, it's almost like you don't know what type of ideologies now are
Okay.
okay, which is
Yeah.
not okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. That's just a you see how the propaganda is so good that they are hijacking people to create this reality to believe certain stories about themselves. Tell me about the story of the guy that had the death experience and he all he had to do was change his.
Yeah, yeah, that was really cool. He like had a near death experience and he said that he could see his life rolling past him. And he was like seeing he was getting connected to it, and then he saw the life that he really wanted also moving past him. He could see himself in it. And he was like, all I have to do is stop telling this story and just start telling that story.
Mm,
And that is what will happen.
damn,
Like that's
damn.
dude, that's like it's with anything, man. My buddy, my boy Dan. Um, he's like so hung up on this girl that he only had one date with, and he thought they like super hit it off, but like she's not into him. But she had a bunch of things that he really liked, and I'm like, yo, you need to just tell the universe, like you need to just write this story that you met your perfect match. Instead of being like, I wish this girl would still want to be with me, just drop that and just be like, I met my perfect match. I started going to Taibo and I met my perfect match. I started going to a book club and I met my perfect match. Yo, I say every day that someone is going to come to the gas station multiple things. I say that they're going to come to the gas station. I'm going to talk about something and it's going to be good content for me to put back on the internet. And then I also say people are going to come to the gas station and they're going to like me so much. They're going to pay me to speak. And I say that they're going to find ways to open doors for me. And like, I know like it doesn't happen every day, but it happens every day. It happens every day in some way, shape, or form. So then it's easier for my brain to go, yeah, that story's true.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing, man, is like your brain is like a little dude inside. And it's like, you know how TV is delayed 5 seconds, but then live
Hmm.
TV is not. And that's why like you can hear them swear sometimes.
Hmm.
Other TV is like delayed 5 seconds. Like if you're watching American Idol and someone just like super falls or something, they can cut it before it happens because it's on a 5 second delay for the viewer.
Hmm.
Your life is on a 5 second delay from your brain. Your brain is in there cooking the story of intentions.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? And the way that you feel about yourself, your subconscious thoughts, it's like, okay, let's create it this way, this way, this way. That's why, like, yo, they talk about quarterback face with little kids. The kid who's like the best looking kid and he's the most confident. So the kids want to give him the ball the most because they're like, this guy's confident. He's going to create a good thing. I'm not confident. I don't know what I'll do, you know? And that's
Mm.
all life is. Life is like giving you a football and saying, do you think you can run for a touchdown or not? And if you wake up every day and every second of your day, you go, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. I got it. Give me the ball. I got it. Give me the ball. I got it. You're going to crush life because life is going to keep giving you the ball and you're going to keep going. I got it. Even if you fumble or drop it and you get embarrassed, if you say, give me the ball again, life is going to be like, yes. That's like my whole situation, bro. You've known me
Yeah.
for like 13, 14 years now. I was almost a rapper. I was almost an actor. I was almost a baseball player. I was almost an actor again. You know, I was a coach. You know what I mean? I've been so many things and I've gotten knocked down and I get back up and I get back up again. And life is like, do it. Let's see it again. You still think you're the shit? Go. You
Mm.
see what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
that's it's the same thing with what you want to do with training and entrepreneurship. If you wake up every day and go, I'm the guy who gets it done, then you're gonna be the guy who gets it done.
Yeah. Changing your story, like that's so huge, and I think people miss that because it's so simple, but also it's like a daily thing. Like it has to be a there has to be some sort of you have to build momentum. You got to build momentum for your
You,
story.
you know what it's like? It's like having a kid. When you're about to have a baby, you're excited, like, oh my God, we're gonna have a baby. And then you have a baby and it's like 2.5, and you're like, is this gonna stop ever? Am I ever going to sleep right? Is this thing ever going to shut up? Is it ever going to not be hungry? Like, am I ever going to get my own attention to myself? Can I ever play a video game or go watch a movie by myself? What is happening? And then people are like, being a parent sucks. And that's how people feel about their dream. They have this dream and they're like, yes, I'm going to knock this out the park. And then you start that dream and it's you're a couple weeks, months into it and you're like, yes. And then you're like 10, 12, 24 months into it and you're like, fuck, man, this thing is still a dream and it's not
Right.
a reality yet. What?
Right. Right. This
And then you
sucks.
and then you get impatient and you and
Yeah.
you you doubt it and then you start the rate you
Then
start
you start. Then you start walking lateral.
yes, it all breaks down, bro. So it's like that's that optimistic, like I am gonna go dumb hard every day, no matter what, until I'm literally waking up in a 7 bedroom house, 4 full bathrooms, 3 car garage, 20 acres, the whole nine, everything done, got it. I have passive revenue streams, homeschooling my kids. It's Gucci, bang, bang, bang.
Oh, fire, bro.
And it's
So fire.
it's there by just every day waking up and going, that's where I'm going to. I'm going to that because that's already there for me. It's there for me right now. I'm just
Right
on
now.
the way to it, you know. And part of the way is I got to go work at the gas station for X. It's just like a sentence at prison. you're just grinding it out and grinding it out. And for me, showing up every day and going, I know one of these days I'm gonna meet somebody and it's gonna open up.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna pull in and I'm gonna show them this and I'm gonna tell them how I do public speaking, and they're gonna go, yo, I run a conference for mental health. You talk about mental health and overcoming trauma, please come be a keynote speaker at my conference. And I know that that's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, bro. It's the same thing. You live like right near Miami, dude.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have opportunity walking up to you all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, I've experienced those opportunities, and it's true. It's true. It's just a matter of time. It's that momentum of just staying consistent long enough to have those doors open up.
It's just like Dan wanting a girlfriend. Dan has a great job. He has no job issues, no home issues. He's got a great dog. He wants one thing, a girl. If he wakes up every day and says, I am going to meet my perfect match, just eventually it's going to go bong. You can't get away from it, you
Right.
know? So if you
It's
wake up,
also too. I was with a young lady, a lovely young lady the other day, and we always have conversations like this, and she was like, "Yeah," and there's this saying that remember that you prayed for times like that you're in right now as well, and I'm like, "Yo, exactly. Like, remember you prayed of being back home. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? And like now
yes,
you're there. Like I
yes,
prayed about living in South Florida
yes.
and doing my thing, and I'm doing it.
And that's that whole state of gratitude.
Yeah, that's that completion type of energy that you could
Yes.
expand out into the other things
It
that
can be
you're
anything.
working on.
It
Yeah,
can be anything. It can be anything, you know. Dude,
yeah,
if you look at my notebook before this whole happened, so many times in my notebook, I kept saying, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? Why am I here? What is my purpose? I don't understand. And then this happened, and it's like, I know my purpose now. And I kept asking for this, and now I have a purpose. So every day, the journey to complete this purpose officially, and be on a Jordan Peterson level is so much fun. It's a blast. I learn new things every day, and it's just it's a having a sense of gratitude and also having the will to learn and keep trying to get better. It's, instead of saying, I don't think I'm doing good enough, I don't think I'm enough, just say, there's more for me to learn. And that's fun. Learning is fun. I learned a lot today. I'll learn more tomorrow. Maybe I can learn even more than I learned today tomorrow, hopefully. But I know I learned today. I know I did my job today, you
right.
know? So we have about 3 minutes left.
Yeah, right. So that's a good place to end it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I love talking to you, and I think I almost wish sometimes, TJ, I wish that we could just have a way to film just some of our conversations that aren't this, just on the phone sometimes, because we get it really cooking some there too
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes.
for sure, for sure.
Um,
Well, what we got to do is not speak until we do a we shall see.
yeah, yeah, but then the We Shall Sees will definitely be longer than 40 men.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, it's just nice to talk about this stuff, man. It's for me, being able to kick it to somebody else reaffirms it for me, and I think that that is such a big thing, and I think that everyone can benefit from either listening to us and then taking what we talk about and talking to your own friends about it and being like, yo, creating this dialogue and talking about feeling good and trying to find, because you were hitting me a few days ago, you're like, yo, I'm stressed out right now, and I'm like, you got to remember that you're not stressed out and that this is part of the journey and you'll figure it out no matter what. So like, you know
Yeah. No, I mean, those conversations definitely always help me from stopping my lateral movement. That's such a great analogy. It's such a because it's visual. So, and I feel like everybody can relate to that. That once you're negative, while you're on the path towards your goal, It's gonna get rocky. It's gonna be ups and downs. And once you start complaining and negative, and which I am definitely guilty of, you you might not necessarily go back, but you will definitely be moving lateral as opposed to,
You ain't
moving
going
forward.
forward. Yeah.
So those forward movements are so small, you know what I'm saying? And it's that grind of like me, I'm sitting, I'm going, driving Uber, I'm going to the gym, I'm coming back, I'm calling people, and then I got the full-time job and I got music. Like that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, I hope
30 seconds or less. 30
you
seconds
got
left.
you got
10,
benefit
9,
from this.
8,
So
7.
until
We
next time,
shall see.
please.
Bum, bum, bum. This shit's about to cut off.
Until next time, y'all. You already know.
Yeah, you know what it is.